Okay, so we're back at the van doing a little bit of work here on my day off. As you can see, I'm working on the roof insulation. I'm just piecing in little squares of 1/2-inch foam board insulation around my roof vent fan that I recently installed. So the way this fiberglass rooftop works, there are some, I believe, 3/4-inch boards molded into the fiberglass that you can kind of use as anchor points, and I'm kind of using them as well as spots to fit in my insulation. So I won't have any insulation going over the wooden board part. I got a few questions on how and why I'm insulating the van. I insulate my vans for heat, not cold. So I use a thin layer of insulation rather than going real thick as to not hold in the summer heat. And I am in the winter months in climates where I don't need a lot of insulation for cold. I'm usually in very mild temperatures, so that's why I'm going about it this way. So I'll finish cutting out my pieces to fill in and fit all the other sections there, as well as along the side, and then I'll be working on the front area here. So that's kind of my little project so far today, and we'll figure out what else I'm going to do. Okay, so here's a shot of the progress I was able to make today. I got all my foam board insulation on the ceiling and sides of the fiberglass high top. Was able to trim my mattress down. That was a little bit of a pain, but it did work out. The whole problem was these IKEA mattresses on the twin size, they have a zippered cover, and for some reason they put a one-way zipper on it, so it will only zip closed. So you pretty much have to pry open the zipper to unzip it, and now I'm going to have to go buy a new zipper to clamp on there so I can re-zip it. But for now, that's going to work. And what else did I accomplish? Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll give you a shot of the insulation up front here. I was able to get it placed. This is not tacked in yet with construction adhesive. That's what I will be doing, but I want to wait till I get closer to get my wiring set up in case I need to pull any of that out. But so far, I'm really happy with how things are going. All right, we'll take a little look at the progress we made today. I've been working on the bed frame. I realized it wasn't strong enough, so I went in and added some more reinforcements so it's a lot more solid. Put these cross pieces here, so it's looking pretty solid now, and I still got plenty of room for storage underneath. I did add one more support right in the center, so I should be able to have my storage containers on either side there. Okay, so here's what I'm working on today. I applied some stain and polyurethane coating to my desk here. I think it turned out pretty nice. Kind of gave it a little bit of a darker color. Got a nice smooth surface on the tabletop there. Applied a couple coats. Gave it a nice sand in between coats so it came out really smooth. And then I'm also doing my kitchen countertop as well. That's still drying. It's on its second coat there. And I also have these kind of little racked shelf things here that I got from IKEA that I applied the same stain and finish to. So I'll show you what I used here. Picked this up at Home Depot. It's this Minwax Poly Shades stain and polyurethane in one step. And this is called a pecan color. It's got a nice gloss to it. Took up pretty much that whole can there. But I got it all done, so just gotta let it dry. Then we'll work on getting everything reinstalled into the van and get everything reinforced. I'll be using probably some L brackets for extra support once I get everything dried here. Probably do the same thing on this, as well as I'll be adding another shelf about midway there. The wheel well will be sitting right in the center, so I'll have a shelf right above the wheel well of the van. And then it's going to be time to start thinking about constructing some drawers for here, as well as the desk as well. So the van currently is a total mess. I've just got a lot of stuff that doesn't have a place for it. So fortunately I'm able to pull some of it out. I've got it stored here where I'm working on the van. So we're going to have to get back to it tomorrow once everything is dried. I'm happy with the progress we made. Okay, so here's the kitchen counter put back into the van. I came up with these basket drawers here that slide out real nice. Happy with that. So I'll be doing some rearranging and getting all my kitchen stuff in here. Still need to come up with a better storage solution for my bottom shelf there, some sort of slide out boxes or something. So it is slowly coming along. And then I look at my little desk space here. Got it installed in just another cardboard box as a temporary drawer. So that's how that's looking. So we'll get into the installing my solar power setup. Okay, so we're going to be working on my battery bank setup, my power system here in the van. So I'll show you what I'm working with here. These are the batteries I ended up going with. This is an AGM battery. It's classified as a cell phone tower battery. That's the brand there, Narada. They are made in China. Now this is a 12-volt battery and 90 amp hours. So I purchased 4 of these for a total of 360 amp hours. Compared to my last system, I had the flooded batteries, the 6-volt golf cart batteries, and I had a total of 220 amp hours. So I've got a little bit more battery power reserve with this setup. Like I said, I did get 4 of them, so the challenge is going to be where to put them. So far, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know how well we can see in there. I've got them, one of them kind of long ways up against the side of the van, and then the other one here turned. And then I've got a little space underneath the bed. You can see one stuffed back there long ways, and then I'll put this other one up against there. So this should be all in a close enough proximity where they'll be easy to connect and wire up together. Okay, so for a charge controller, this is what I went with here. This Ever brand. This is the Tracer model. It is a Mppt solar controller. I just kind of went by reviews on this on Amazon. It seemed to get good reviews and was fairly priced at around $150. It does have a remote little controller screen here. And then I also have a 500 watt pure sine wave inverter to be able to have AC power off the 12-volt power bank. So we'll be using that. And then a few other miscellaneous items that'll be a part of that is my fuse block there. That will be connected directly to the batteries, and then I can connect everything off of this so they'll be fused, like my lights, my fans, and stuff like that. I also got a dimmer switch for my LED lighting. I'm hoping that this works out. I don't know why this camera is not focusing right now. So I can be able to dim the lights in the van. And then I had these in my previous van. They were really handy. I can just wire up to the battery and have a little cigarette lighter adapter as well as a couple USB ports. So that'll be what I'm working on. I will most likely mount in here underneath my desk area, but I'll start by connecting all the batteries together first off. Okay, so we've got all my power stuff installed here. I've got the solar charge controller installed there, my inverter, and then my fuse block behind that, all right above the battery bank here. I was trying to get everything as close as possible to the battery bank just to have the shortest amount of wire runs. So I'll be able to connect my charge controller right to the battery from there, inverter as well as the fuse block, and then I'll be able to run all my accessories off the fuse block, like my lights, the roof vent fan here, and then I'm going to have some little 12-volt ports, USB ports, and cigarette lighter ports kind of throughout the van. So that's how it's set up there. Now I am cutting it a little bit close. These solar charge controllers, they do have a heat sink on the back, which means they do dissipate heat, and they require that there is space above the top of them there. And I feel like I'm cutting it a little bit close because that heat does need to dissipate, but it's not, you know, butted up right against the top there. So I'm hoping that works out. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. And then as far as my inverter goes, having it installed vertically like that means that the plug-in spot is on the top, which means it's going to be very inconvenient to plug things in directly to the inverter. So how I plan on using it is using like a power strip, plugging that into the top of the inverter, and then running that to a more convenient place like on my desktop where I can easily plug in like my laptop, my camera batteries, and stuff like that. So that's how it's looking. I will be doing the wiring tomorrow, getting all the stuff wired up to the batteries to the inverter. Right now I just kind of have everything attached, so that's where we're at. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. We'll see what kind of progress we can make tomorrow. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I did want to touch on the price of the batteries I showed in this video. Those 12-volt AGM batteries, those cell phone tower batteries. I got those at a local battery store here in San Diego, and they were $95 a piece. It was kind of a special deal. He had gotten in a big pallet of them and was blowing them out at that price. So I'm in about $400 for the whole battery bank for 360 amp hours of battery. I feel like that was a good deal as long long as they hold up and work out. So in the future, once I get some use out of them, I'll do a review video and talk about how they're holding a charge and taking a charge and all of that. So in the next video, we'll be installing the solar panels to the fiberglass high top roof of this van, which I think is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I think I have a way to do it, so we'll see how that goes. I do appreciate everyone following along. We'll see you very soon in the next video. Take care. Peace.